PDF Filler, your best friend this tax season. Forget printing, scanning, and waiting days. PDF Filler, your best friend this tax season. Forget printing, scanning, and waiting days.
Google AI helps you find your best customers by optimizing your campaigns in real time. Start
Android. Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Bendy was a little devil thing who was brought to life on the silver screen. Used to make them chuckle, now he makes them scream. It's Bendy and the devil swing. Flashback to the place that made the cartoon sing, where the cobwebs grow in the forward street, and it's all connected to an evil scheme. It's Bendy and the Ink Machine. Dreams do come true. I was deceived by Joey True, and now I'm coming after you. Who's laughing now? You thought that you could call me out, but now the ink is pouring down. Bendy was created out of ink and molded into a 3D beast. You can hear them commonplace tapping feet. It's Bendy in the devil swing. Back to the air with the servants king, but the workshop sitting behind the scenes. It's a deeper secret hidden underneath. It's Bendy and the Ink Machine. Hey Joey, I got your message. There's no sketch on my old work desk. It might have been a bit overzealous to collect all 6 of those office relics. I haven't seen my peers in over 30 years, but there's no one here except grinding gears and my rising fears. The illusion of living was only the beginning. Ink incarnate that sin and presented in silly vision. The illusion of living was only the beginning. Ink incarnate that sin and presented in silly vision. He was a villain out of sync, now he's off the page and he's on the brink, and his old pal Force might have lost a swing. It's Bendy in the devil swing, a cartoon cutout that'll make you shrink. Yeah, your heart starts racing when you hear that beat. The creator's dream that is probably it's Bendy and the Ink Machine. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3D. You and me, Ink Machine, flashing screens, dancing fiend. Bendy sings, devil swing. Bendy was a little devil thing who was brought to life on the silver screen. Used to make them chuckle, now he makes them scream. It's Bendy and the devil swing. Flashback to the place that made the cartoon sing, where the cobwebs grow in the forward street, and it's all connected to an evil scheme. It's Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Cartoons never die. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Fandroid. Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Bendy was a little devil thing who was brought to life on the silver screen. Used to make them chuckle, now he makes them scream. It's Bendy and the devil swing. Flashback to the place that made the cartoon sing, where the cobwebs grow in the forward street, and it's all connected to an evil scheme. It's Bendy and the Ink Machine. Dreams do come true. I was deceived by Joey True, and now I'm coming after you. Who's laughing now? You thought that you could call me out, but now the ink is pouring down. Bendy was created out of ink and molded into a 3D beast. You can hear them commonplace tapping feet. It's Bendy in the devil swing. Back to the air with the servants king, but the workshop sitting behind the scenes. It's a deeper secret hidden underneath. It's Bendy and the Ink Machine. Hey Joey, I got your message. There's no sketch on my old work desk. It might have been a bit overzealous to collect all 6 of those office relics. I haven't seen my peers in over 30 years, but there's no one here except grinding gears and my rising fears. The devil swing.
Cartoons never die. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Fandroid. Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Bendy was a little devil thing who was brought to life on the silver screen. Used to make them chuckle, now he makes them scream. It's Bendy and the devil swing. Flashback to the place that made the cartoon sing, where the cobwebs grow in the forward street. It's all connected to an evil scheme. It's Bendy and the Ink Machine. Dreams do come true. I was deceived by Joey Drew, and now I'm coming after you. Who's laughing now? You thought that you could call me out, but now the ink is pouring down. Bendy was made out of ink, message. There's no sketch on my old work desk. It might have been a bit overzealous to collect all 6 of those office relics. I haven't seen my peers in over 30 years, but there's no one here except grinding gears and my rising fears. The illusion of living was only the beginning. Ink incarnate that sin and presented in silly vision. The illusion of living was only the beginning. Ink incarnate that sin and
Purina Cat Chow for cats of all ages. Curious kittens.
Viewer discretion is advised. Under the speaker's command, the D-Class booted up the game. He gripped the controller with anticipation.
Now, please read out the instructions on the manual.
The D-Class cleared his throat, then read out the manual in his best game show host impression.
Professor Ghoul's Terrifying Horror Challenge is a realistic and scary action game that the entire family can enjoy. The manic Professor Ghoul invites all comers to test their mettle, wits, and strength in his fantastic challenge. Do you have what it takes to be victorious? Playing the game's easy. All you have to do is choose whether you want to go at it alone or with a friend. Then do whatever it takes to survive level after level of horrifying action and adventure. Once you've started the game, you can play it anywhere, home, in town, even at school. Whenever and wherever Professor Ghoul's spooky creations find you, the fun never ends. Be careful though, Professor Ghoul is a man of honor. Once you've decided to take on the challenge, you can't stop until someone emerges as the victor. Get through with all your body parts intact and you'll be the coolest kid in town. Lose, however, and you're at the mercy of Professor Ghoul. There's no extra lives in Professor Ghoul's Terrifying Horror Challenge and no second chances. Get game over and you're done. Meh. Shouldn't be too different or too difficult than the games I've played. I can handle it.
Excellent. You may begin. Please be informed that your gameplay will be recorded for research purposes.
And so he pressed start confidently. What he didn't know was the horrors that followed in the later levels. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you SCP Foundation Safe Class Object SCP-1315. SCP-1315, also known as the Hardest Game, appears to be a standard video game cartridge of the North American version of the Nintendo Entertainment System console, known alternatively as NES. The cartridge is made of gray plastic and is unlabeled. According to an operation manual that comes with it, the game is entitled Professor Ghou's Terrifying Horror Challenge. Its caption reads, "A realistic high-stakes action game for 1 to 2 players." When the cartridge is used in an NES console, a black screen appears, containing nothing except a simple menu with the option for a single-player or a 2-player mode. Pressing the Start button on either of the options advances to another screen. The game will then ask to confirm whether the persons currently holding the game controllers are those who wish to play. If the No option is selected, the game will return to the Mode Select menu. Selecting Yes prompts the game to beep loudly and display a blank red screen. Nothing more will happen on screen after this point. When the game begins, the players of the game will be subjected to a series of increasingly horrific challenges that manifest in the real world. The game elements are only visible to the players. The challenges involve players escaping from or combating hostile creatures over a series of levels. Once the game has begun, it cannot be halted until the players either win or lose. Turning the console off simply renders the players unable to receive hints from the game. Physically leaving the game area will cause the phenomena manifested by the game to follow the players to their new location. If the players fail to complete the level, they will be captured by the enemies within the game. This will cause the game to end and the players to disappear. It is currently unknown where the players go after they lose. The game's manual claims the fun never ends and does not specify how many challenges must be completed to win the game, if it can be won at all. However, a D-Class personnel have thus far managed to reach level 33. After starting the game, the entirety of the Foundation facility became the D-Class's play area. The first few levels spawned various entities that would chase and overwhelm the D-Class. Weapons effective against these enemies would also spawn somewhere nearby. However, on level 7, the D-Class was not provided with any weapon. He was assaulted by 2 hostile men, each armed with an axe and a chainsaw.
Wait, no weapons? How is this fair?
Luckily, he survived the level for an hour and advanced. On level 9, a group of armed men resembling local police force converged on the D-Class's location and attempted to apprehend him. A loaded assault rifle spawned for the D-Class.
Finally! I've been waiting to do this. I've always wondered how it feels to shoot.
Look out, world, 'cause I'm coming in hot.
He picked up the weapon and immediately unloaded on his enemies. The remaining gunmen called for backup, which arrived within the next 10 minutes.
Keep coming, and I'll keep killing!
The gunfight went on for 2 hours. The level was beaten after he killed every gunman, including the reinforcements. Level 12. An unseen but hostile force attacked the D-Class. It was capable of manipulating physical objects, including the D-Class himself. Like level 7, no weapons were provided.
No weapons and an enemy that I can't see? How the hell am I supposed to beat this level?
According to the guide, you must find 3 random objects. They could be documents, photographs, or some ornaments around you. Do that, then you'll advance.
I hate walking simulators.
The D-Class wandered around the facility. Occasionally, he would dodge objects thrown by the unseen force, or get thrown himself. Eventually, he found the necessary objects and dispelled the unseen force. Level 16. A group of 4 humanoids spawned and attempted to kill the D-Class. They were reported to resemble past users of SCP-1315.
Is this freaking PvP? God, this is getting annoying.
The attackers were initially unarmed, but they immediately fashioned makeshift weapons out of nearby objects. To the D-Class's surprise, the attackers moved at a startling speed. They also had the ability to pass through solid objects. The D-Class grabbed the weapon that spawned for him. To his disappointment, it was a pair of binoculars. With much difficulty, the D-Class bludgeoned the attackers with the binoculars and prevailed. Level 27 was when the surroundings began to shift. As the level started, the D-Class found himself in a dark, rundown urban area. A number of shadow entities spawned and attacked him. Immediately, he noticed a pattern.
If I move too fast or make too much noise, they'll attack. God, I hate stealth sections.
His objective was to proceed to an area not far from the starting location, where he eventually found a special weapon. It was a wand, which allowed the D-Class to kill the entities by pointing it towards them.
Abalone, Cavadar, whatever, die!
A blinding light shot out from the tip of the wand, and the entities disappeared unceremoniously.
That was janky as hell, like it was made by some indie dev with the budget of some pocket change.
Finally, he made it to level 33, the highest record known. The D-Class found himself on what looked like a tropical island. Blue sky, waterfalls pouring down gloriously in the distance, and an endless vista of sweeping greenery.
This looks pleasant and familiar.
He advanced forward, taking in the scenery as he went. Suddenly, his foot landed on something squishy. It was a bloody carcass of a dead rabbit. Shocked, he took his foot off the rabbit hastily, but stumbled as he lost his balance. That was when he realized that dead bodies of various animals and even humans were strewn all over the path ahead. Some were strung on the palm trees that lined his pathway.
Dear God, what have I gotten myself into? Oh, Christ, I suppose there's no going back now.
He steeled himself and walked on. Moving past the bodies, he stumbled upon a gaming icon standing ahead. It was Sonic, but something wasn't quite right with it.
Hello, do you want to play a game with me?
Well,
Hide and seek.
What? I don't understand.
Suddenly, his surroundings transformed into a burning hellscape. Everything was on fire as far as the eye could see. Sonic was nowhere to be found.
Oh God, is this hell? Am I in hell now?
Then Sonic's laugh echoed.
You can run, but you can't.
Yeah, I can't hide. I know how it goes. Please, just spare me.
But you can't run forever.
Out of nowhere, Sonic appeared, its eyes glowing red and dripping blood. It started chasing him through the burning jungle. The D-Class ran, weaving in between the falling trees and jumping over lava pits. Eventually, he shook off Sonic. Or so he thought.
Where is he? Is he gone?
He looked around frantically. Sonic was nowhere to be found. But when he turned back, Sonic was already standing in front of him. Its gaping mouth was wide open, lined with needle-sharp teeth.
No! Don't go closer! Please, I beg you! No!
Perhaps you know me as the Kung Fu Panda. Seven Nations only.
Have you ever wished
The most extreme case at present is that they fired one bullet after another, but it didn't feel the slightest. They even used anti-tank weapons, causing part of the body, organs, and blood of 096 to be gone. But it was still able to move forward and destroy the entire team. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you a SCP Foundation Euclid class object SCP-096. SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. SCP-096 shows very little muscle mass, with a preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. It has no sign of any body hair. Its skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, and it probably doesn't have pupils either. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of the eyes. SCP-096's jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human. It shows no signs of any higher brain functions and is not considered to be sapient. SCP-096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside its cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall, and it doesn't seem to need food. Based on its response, the researchers are determined that 096 is very shy. It tries to stay as far to humans as possible. However, when someone views SCP-096's face, we'll call this person SCP-096-1. Whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the viewing, SCP-096 will begin running towards SCP-096-1. It moves at 35 kilometers an hour and seems to depend on distance from SCP-096-1. If it is very far away, it will be able to run very fast. The actual position of SCP-096-1 does not seem to affect SCP-096's response. It seems to have an innate sense of SCP-0961's location. Upon arriving at SCP-0961's location, SCP-096 will proceed to attack and kill SCP-0961. 100% of cases have left no traces of SCP-0961. SCP-096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. Then the Foundation staff will take it back to the SCP shelter. The most extreme case at present is that someone saw only a part of its picture and was also killed by it. At this point, no known material or method can impede SCP-096's progress. In one of the audio recordings, the former commander of the recovery team said, even if they were firing it intensely, but it didn't feel anything at all. They even used anti-tank weapons, causing part of the body, organs, and blood of 096 to be gone. But it was still able to move forward and destroy the entire team. Besides, because it does not cover its face when it's running towards its target, anyone who sees it will be killed by it along the way. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation secrecy and large civilian loss of life, a doctor of the Foundation has also petitioned for immediate termination of SCP-096. The Foundation has carried out several execution experiments, one of which is to send the containment tank containing SCP-096 into SCP-682's cell. SCP-682 is a large, vaguely reptile-like creature of unknown origin. It has a powerful regeneration ability and adaptability, and also has the title of Immortal Body. If you want to know more about SCP-682, do click on this video. So back to the execution experiment. The screams of the two entities continue for 27 hours, at which point the noise abruptly stops. Sonar-based video feeds reveal SCP-096 severely wounded and huddled in the southwest corner, apparently upset. Feed shows SCP-682 on the north end of the room, approximately 85% of its initial mass absent. Further attempts to expose SCP-096 to SCP-682 cause it to turn away from 682, jumping in place while clawing at its face and screaming. Because 096 will only attack when people see its face, so the Foundation has long housed it in an airtight steel cube. There are to be absolutely no video surveillance or optical tools of any kind inside SCP-096's cell. Any and all photos, videos, or recordings of SCP-096's likeness are strictly forbidden. But it's said that an abstract painting or its cartoon image is not prohibited because it won't stimulate the emotional distress reaction of 096. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Have you ever heard or encountered any paranormal event? Let us know. As it does not cover its face when it's running towards its target, anyone who sees it will be killed by it along the way. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation secrecy and large civilian loss of life, a doctor of the Foundation has also petitioned for immediate termination of SCP-096. The Foundation has carried out several execution experiments, one of which is to send 682's cell. SCP-like creature of unknown origin. It has a powerful regeneration ability and adaptability, and also has the title of Immortal Body. If you want to know more about SCP-682, do click on this.
Ever felt trapped by endless ads while watching your favorite videos? One click on privacyadblocker.com and say goodbye to ad interruptions. Not just ad-free, but privacy-focused, keeping your browsing secure. Join the ad-free revolution. Start your seamless.
SCP-682 begins thrashing violently, emitting several roaring sounds and issuing profanity directed at testing staff. Finally, 682 breaks containment, attack against several agents, staff, and researchers, resulting in 11 deaths and 86 injuries. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you SCP Foundation Class Object Kita, SCP-682. SCP-682 is one of the most popular in SCP Foundation. 682 is a large, vaguely reptile-like creature of unknown origin, famous for traits that are almost impossible to be destroyed. It appears to be extremely intelligent and was observed to engage in complex communication with other SCP. 682 appears to have a hatred of all life, which has been expressed in several interviews during containment. 682 has always been observed to have extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes, though exact levels vary with its form. Its physical body grows and changes very quickly, growing or decreasing in size as it consumes or sheds material, and can gain energy from anything it ingests, organic or inorganic. 682's regenerative capabilities and resilience are staggering, and it has been seen moving and speaking with its body 87% destroyed or rotted. When being asked why it kills those innocent farmers, it refused to answer at first, but after forced to answer by a doctor, 682 assault one of the personnel, and answer they were disgusting. Due to the highly aggressive, adaptive, and intelligent nature of 682, termination testing has been ordered by Foundation. The only problem is the number of termination testing have been conducted close to 100, yet none of them have been success. Among the many execution records, the most classic of which is the attempt to use SCP-409 on 682. 409 is a very dangerous quartz crystal. Any objects coming in contact with 409 will begin to crystallize after 3 hours. After complete crystallization, the object will bursting into thousands of fragments with great force. Upon exposure, 682's crystallization begins. It shows signs of extreme pain and begins. It shows the object will burst. Any object's execution records, the most classification testing have been conducted close to 100, yet none of them have been success. Among the many execution records, the most classic of which is the attempt to use SCP-409 on 682. 409 is a very dangerous quartz crystal. Any objects coming in contact with 409 will begin to crystallize after 3 hours. After complete crystallization, the object will bursting into thousands of fragments with great force. Upon exposure, 682's crystallization begins. It shows signs of extreme pain and begins having seizures, but the crystallization stops at 62% conversion with unknown reason. Its crystallized area explodes, causing massive physical trauma to 682. 1 hour later, 682 recovers from exposure, despite the loss of limbs and organs. It begins regeneration, stating that it will attempt to kill and consume all staff involved in this event. Due to the failure of SCP-409, major concerns raised about possible developed immunities and possible adaptations. All future termination tests must first be carried out on tissue samples taken from 682. In another termination testing, 682 quickly presses against the wall farthest from SCP-173, staring at it the entire time. SCP-173 cannot move while within a direct line of sight, but once the line of sight is broken, it will move in high speed and attack by snapping the neck of the victim. 682 continues to stare at 173 without pause for 6 hours. Realize this situation, agents equipped with large caliber sniper rifles dispatched and shoot out the eyes of 682. After resuming observation, 682 is shown to be on the floor, with several injuries around its head, neck, and legs. It rapidly regenerates from damage and moves to a different wall, developing several sets of eyes on various parts of its body, many covered by thick, clear caps of armored carapace. 682 maintains observation of 173 for an additional 12 hours, despite additional efforts of agents and Foundation staff. At the end, Foundation staff have no other way but to end this testing. Termination testing with SCP-162 has once again proved the exceptional vitality and adaptability of 682. Touching SCP-162 will immediately result in several hooks becoming embedded in the subject's skin. Subject will bleed profusely, resulting in death after a prolonged period of time. 682 exposed to 162. It begins thrashing violently, emitting several roaring sounds and issuing profanity directed at testing staff. After 4 minutes of continued exposure, 682 lunges away from SCP-162, severing its lower jaw and left hind limb, and causing serious tissue damage to many areas of its body. 682 breaks containment, attack against several agents, staff, and researchers, resulting in 11 deaths and 86 injuries. So we know at this time, no means available to SCP teams are capable of destroying SCP-682, only able to cause massive physical damage. 682 should be contained within chamber filled with hydrochloric acid until it is submerged and incapacitated. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Have you ever heard or encountered any paranormal event? Let us know in the comment below. We will draw your story and share it with the world. Don't forget to click like, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell. Please share it to your friends if you like. A warped man walked out of the woods, killed our friends right in front of us. Sometimes it would stare more than it would make to kill, try to talk to you. It whispered at me, "Come and eat." It made me cold in my bones. When I was made to kill, I thought of this, and it calmed me. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you SCP Foundation Euclid Class Object SCP-323. SCP-323, also known as Wendigo Skull, is the skull of an unidentified cervid measuring 55 centimeters long, 27 centimeters wide, and 31 centimeters tall. With a pair of antlers growing from the left and right sides of SCP-323, 323 shows signs of damage consistent with outside exposure, with regular pitting, scarring, and weathering across the object, bleaching on the upper surfaces, and a missing lower jaw. The rear of the skull features an approximately centered ovoid gap, measuring 25 centimeters high and 23 centimeters wide, giving access to an interior space 16 centimeters deep. This gap shows signs of tool use, indicating that it was carved with tools, possibly stone. SCP-323 displays the ability to react to aural, tactile, and visual stimuli. Testing has revealed SCP-323 appears to have a field of view similar to that of other cervids, and has responded to visual stimuli from up to 50 meters away. 323 is also capable of limited locomotion, typically in the form of small movements and vibrations. In most cases, 323 will only move away when touched, or when personnel are present within its containment chamber. But 323 has also demonstrated the ability to make larger movement, such as lunging at SCP's personnel and repeatedly attempting to break through its containment. SCP-323 exerts an influential effect in a radius extending roughly 15 meters from itself. Individuals within this radius will begin experiencing cannibalistic thoughts and urges, violent outbursts, and impaired judgment after approximately 1 hour of continuous exposure. Roughly 74% of individuals who reach this point will attempt to place their heads through the gap present in the back of 323. If an individual is incapable of fitting their whole head through the gap, attempts will be made to bludgeon their heads against nearby hard surfaces until the point that the individual's head manages to fit, loses consciousness, or pass on. Once the individual has fit their head through 323, the individual is classified as SCP-323-1. Within 10 minutes of putting 323 on, 323-1 will undergo drastic physical alterations. 323-1 will experience a rapid loss of body fat, body hair, and pigmentation, followed by the rupturing of the distal phalanges from the fingertips, abnormal tooth growth, and the blackening of extremities consistent with frostbite. Additionally, 323-1 appears to experience greater strength and pain tolerance than the average human. However, 323-1 still appears to be as susceptible to physical harm as it was before contacting SCP-323. SCP-323-1's metabolism will experience a dramatic increase, requiring a constant caloric intake, with starvation occurring anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes, if no self-preservation efforts are made. In order to sustain its increased metabolism, 323-1 will actively seek out and eat other individuals for sustenance. If 323-1 is incapable of finding plentiful nourishment, 323-1 will make efforts to sustain itself, including limiting movement, rationing available food, and auto-cannibalism. SCP-323-1 will only feed upon humans. It is presumed that 323-1 can receive sustenance from other sources, but chooses not to, despite availability or ease of access. During the pursuit of individuals, SCP-323-1 has been known to occasionally make various statements in the Severn, Ojibwe, Potawatomi, and Cree languages, as well as in the native language of 323-1 original itself. It is not known if these statements and the knowledge of these languages is the result of SCP-323's anomalous influence, or if they originate from 323 itself. The following audio log has been transcribed from surveillance recovered during the 2006 containment breach of SCP-323, which resulted in the death of 12 personnel members before containment could be re-established. hungry. So hungry. I must eat. So very hungry. Always, always hungry. Must not eat. I have to eat. So hungry. So lonely. Alone. Hungry. Should eat. Must eat them all. I must eat to know warmth. So cold. Must eat. SCP-323 was first discovered on December 9, 1997, in the Bittern Lake Reserve, part of the Lac La Ronge First Nation in Canada. A small and unregistered community had been sustaining an active SCP-323-1 by routinely murdering individuals and leaving them out as an appeasement to 323-1. Investigation revealed that many people were involved, and these people were amnesticized after being interviewed, and a cover story involving an unidentified serial killer was propagated. Unfortunately, the 323-1 died of starvation during its transfer to Site-91. James Namagus, an individual involved in the murders and sustaining of SCP-323-1 prior to its containment, was brought in by a professor from the Foundation for questioning. James remained unusually calm throughout and after the interview. James told the professor that he involved in moving the bodies for the Wendigo to eat. Here, Wendigo refers to the 323-1 instance. His elders told them a story of the Cree men, back when fighting was common, who tried to control the Wendigo to give his people an advantage. When asked about how they first encountered Wendigo, he said, "One night, I heard yelling all around the village. A warped man walked out of the woods, killed our friends right in front of us. Sometimes it would stare more than it would make to kill, try to talk to you. It whispered at me, 'Come and eat.' It made me cold in my bones. Then I felt like I could understand the warped man, the Wendigo, and that we could leave with him like we all do when we pass. When I was made to kill, I thought of this and it calmed me. I didn't run. It would look at me sometimes. I could hear him in my mind. I could feel him watching me from out of my own eyes. This helped me watch these people die, and I hoped it would pass on my family." Following the interview, James was administered amnestics and was reintroduced to his community. SCP-323 is to be kept in a 17 cubic meters concrete containment cell in Site-91. It is to be restrained in the center of the cell with a 1 cubic meter container of 8.8 centimeter thick transparent armor. The container must be lined with a one-way laminate, which has one electronically locked access port. This container is to be internally lit, with the surrounding cell kept dimmer to facilitate the one-way laminate. The cell is to be surveyed remotely at all times, and any signs of activity are to be reported. No personnel are to enter SCP-323's containment cell except to examine the integrity of SCP-323's restraint measures. The restraint measures are to be examined bi-weekly, and any signs of damage are to be repaired immediately. All personnel who enter 323's containment cell are to be accompanied by an armed guard. Personnel are not to be within 323's containment cell for longer than 45 minutes, and any communication around 323 is to be written or spoken in a language other than English or French. In the event that 323 breaches containment and an instance of 323-1 is formed, personnel are to evacuate Site-91 and the site is to be locked down. Remote units are to be deployed to destroy the body of 323-1. Following this, armed personnel may be sent in to re-establish the containment of SCP-323. Before we end this video, we are proud to present these incredibly sweet pieces of fan art. A big thank you to all of you. You can now send us your fan art, and we will be more than happy to show off your best art piece in our next video. Check out our description below on how to submit. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Which SCP do you want to see in the next video, and why it is interesting? Let us know in the comment below. We will draw your story and share it with the world. Don't forget to click like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. Please share it to your friends if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.